science, and resulted in Lewis also getting a puncture and having to come in, and damage to the floor for Lewis, which eventually led to his retirement. Safety car came out because of the amount of debris, and then it changed again because there was yet another first corner incident. On this occasion, it involved Oscar Piastri coming down the inside, left front locked, Kimi Antonelli to his right, who he hit, and then Kimi Antonelli taking out Charles Leclerc, who was out of the race immediately. Great shame for Charles, great shame for Ferrari fans. I mean, Lewis nowhere and eventually retired, and Charles out at the restart. So, yeah, terrible day for Ferrari. But I just want to talk a little bit about that incident because, in my opinion, Oscar Piastri was very hard done by when he was given a 10-second penalty for that. And I don't say that because of what we saw on the replays and what the stewards were looking at, which was Oscar just going down the inside, locking up and bouncing into Kimi Antonelli. I say that because, for me, that incident began on the run up the hill out of turn 12 before Lando Norris has effectively restarted the race by flooring the throttle and disappearing down the start-finish line. Because what happened then was that Kimi Antonelli, unaccountably, was much slower than everybody around him. And I think it was because, amazingly, he was in third gear and everybody else is in second. There's a massive speed differential, much more than you'd ever get with the effect of, say, for example, DRS. And so let's have a look at the speeds then, as Lando restarts the race. Lando restarts the race, just starting to floor the throttle at 111 kilometers an hour. Behind him, Kimi Antonelli, at that moment, is only doing 102 kilometers an hour. That's 9 kilometers an hour difference. Behind him, Charles Leclerc, 107, that's okay. Behind him, Oscar Piastri, 111, exactly the same speed as Lando Norris. And behind him, Isaac Hadjar, 116. And guess what? All those guys are in second gear, except for one, Kimi Antonelli, who's in third gear. And now let's look at the difference in speeds when Lando's now flat on the throttle and starting to accelerate down that straight. Lando Norris 141, Kimi Antonelli 117 at exactly the same moment. Charles Leclerc 124, Oscar Piastri 125, Isaac Hadjar 124. Again, they're all still in second gear, except for Kimi Antonelli, who's in third gear. So there's a massive speed differential there, and I'm wondering whether, if you do that, if there's any sort of regulation controlling that. There probably isn't because no action was taken, but I wonder whether they're even looking at that. It was a huge speed differential as they accelerated down that pit straight towards turn 1. And if you think about it, Oscar Piastri had the option of either staying behind Kimi Antonelli and backing off, because he was going 9 kilometers an hour quicker, or going to the left where there was room between Antonelli and the pit wall, which is what he did. He went down the left. But there was dirt and dust and stuff down the left there. The tyres weren't fully hot, and when he hit the brakes, he locked up. But it was all because of the speed differential thing, which I've never seen before in a restart like that. I don't know what Kimi Antonelli was doing. Third gear when everybody else was in second. And just in case you think it's a Mercedes thing, guess what gear George Russell was in? Second gear. Anyway, I don't think, because of that, Oscar should have got the penalty. I think Kimi Antonelli should have felt that he'd made a bad job of the restart and that he was going to get swamped. And all he needed to do was just stay in the middle of the track, because somebody like Piastri was bound to be, or maybe Hadjar was bound to be on his left. For sure, Charles Leclerc was going to be on his right. One thing was clear. If he was going to come down for his apex into turn 1, there was going to be a shunt, and there was. So, I wonder whether the stewards talked about any of that. I very much doubt it. Anyway, as a result of all that, there was another virtual safety car. And at this moment, they brought Max Verstappen in. Red Bull brought Max Verstappen in to take him off the hard tyre and put him onto the mediums. You thought, wow, that's an interesting strategy call, but in reality it was nothing of the kind. It was because the sensors had shown up a puncture on the right front of Max's car. And so they brought him in and put him on a new set of mediums. And that was, as it turned out, the best thing that could have happened, because it wasn't long after the race had then restarted correctly and properly without any more incident, that it became clear that the hard tyre, which others were still on at that point of the race, was not a very good tyre, wasn't going to stand up well and wasn't going to be quick. So all of a sudden, teams like McLaren, Ferrari were out of it now, but they would have been in the same situation. But certainly let's look at McLaren, starting on the medium tyre, planning a one-stop strategy to go to the hard, suddenly had to rethink all their strategy of where we were going to go. And all of a sudden, Max Verstappen, who's basically got a free pit stop in VSC conditions to get onto the medium, he started on the hard, has no more compound regulation change to have to make. He can just look forward to a race of 2 sets of mediums. And that was a big step forward for him, because the medium was very consistent throughout the race on that Red Bull, and it was for everybody else. It went off like the soft tyre went off, but it took much longer to go off. And I think it underlined what I was suggesting yesterday, not as a Monday morning quarterback, but as somebody that wondered why they didn't try that. And that was that if they'd gone out in Q1 yesterday on the medium tyre with no intention of stopping at all, just keeping Max out there for the 8 or 10 minutes, whatever it is, just to get a time to get him into Q2 and then start playing around with the soft. If they'd done that, he probably would have made it into Q2. I think the Red Bull looked really good on the medium, terrible on the hard. I think that was one of the reasons Max, one of the reasons a lot of people did stay away from the hard, because Max quite early on said this medium is so much better than the hard tyre. In the conditions in which we had today, and the wind was getting up a little bit as well. That medium on the Red Bull was just the perfect tyre. Anyway, Max is now on the medium tyre, a new medium tyre as well. He's got another new set in the garage as well, which is a bit of a worry for everybody else. And he starts to side through the field. As everybody else's tyres start to go off, Max just picks up places, and eventually he's up there looking at P4, P3, and then P2 potentially, because McLaren go from medium to soft, and of course they know that soft isn't going to get them to the end of the race, and they're thinking, what are we going to do here? Go back to medium again? Are we going to try and make the soft last as long as we can? Verstappen's looking really good on 2 sets of mediums effectively, 2 new sets of mediums, and all of a sudden this pressure from Red Bull and Max, which it kind of just happened organically, it wasn't real planning, put pressure on everyone to run a race right at the limit of what they could do on strategy. It certainly pushed the Mercedes as hard as they could go in terms of strategy. And with Oscar Piastri then subsequently incurring a 10-second penalty from the stewards for that first corner incident, the first turn 1 incident, all of a sudden he was out of the game so far as Max was concerned. And his job in beating George Russell was made easier by George having quite high brake temperatures and having to nurse the brakes, which was not a great thing if the pass is going to be made under braking into turn 1, as it was indeed in the late stages of the race by Max on George with DRS, which meant then Kimi Antonelli, and about 30 laps before that, when Max was still on the medium tyre, Red Bull had said to him, you're doing well here, you're only 6 seconds behind George Russell. And classic Max, his reply was, yeah, but how far in front of Russell is Antonelli? It's like, I don't want to know about George, I'm going to beat him. I need to know how I can get to P2. Classic Max. And he was on the medium tyre, looking pretty good. But the tyres were starting to go away. And there was a moment when GP got on the radio and he was talking about George Russell was going to probably have to come in for tyres again, and his mediums were going to go off because they were old mediums, as distinct from Max's, who were new mediums. And Max said, I don't want to hear about George, just tell me what I'm supposed to do. I'm losing grip rapidly. And I think at that moment, Red Bull knew that they had to flip a coin and go for it. And to their credit, they put a set of softs on Max's car right at the end. Now, I've just been saying the soft tyre was the lesser of 2 evils. It was the soft or the hard. But the soft, of course, is a different tyre when it's on a relatively light fuel Red Bull towards the end of the race on a pretty green track, admittedly with debris offline, but a pretty green track now with a reasonable grip level, light car. And all of a sudden the soft tyre was magic on the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. He again sighed through the field, quickly caught and passed George Russell. In the last 4 or 5 laps, he closed on Kimi Antonelli for P2. But it was never going to be easy, because Max's tyres did start to go away over the last couple of laps. And 2 laps to go, he had a bit of a jink coming out of 12, lost the rear a little bit. And you knew then the soft tyre was right on the edge. Mind you, Kimi's mediums on the edge as well. He was in free air. That was the one thing that was his advantage. And he defended beautifully and finished second in the end from Max Verstappen. But I still maintain Kimi was lucky not to get some sort of penalty for what happened at the restart there, which effectively obliged Piastri to go where he was. Anyway, I won't say any more about that because he didn't get a penalty. And I don't want to detract from his achievement as well and how well he drove and how good he looked alongside George when they were relatively near. Again, beautiful early turn in to most of the corners. Some of that lovely long right-hander in the infield there behind the pits. Antonelli just superb through there as well. But I've got to say, when Max was near Antonelli, I've been saying how good Antonelli is on slow corners and short corners, and really good feel. When Max was near him, he almost made Antonelli look like Carlos Sainz. It was unbelievable how much earlier Max was getting into the corners and how he was manipulating the car into the apex, even into the rotation point, even when he was starting to lose grip. Even more so in comparison with George Russell. I mean, George looked really wide compared with Max Verstappen. We often see George in isolation. You think, wow, this guy's really good. And he is good. Of course he's good. But Max, just another class, really, compared to both of those two guys in terms of what he was able to do with the car on the entry to the corner, which of course is the critical part. He was just amazing there, I thought. And then as for Oscar Piastri, he finished only 4th with that 10-second penalty, probably had some damage on the car as well. He didn't even get George Russell, albeit with George having that brake problem. So that was not a good day again for Oscar Piastri in a McLaren, in a car that was that good. But again, let's not lose sight of the great job today that Lando Norris did. So it was Lando, from Kimi Antonelli, from Max Verstappen, incredibly, from George Russell, Oscar Piastri, and Oliver Behrman, an absolutely superb P6, fighting all the way, drove beautifully. And like Antonelli, started on the soft tyre, which meant that he didn't have to wonder about choice. It was pretty clear, go to the medium and then another set of mediums. But he had to do it under race conditions. That's the thing from Max, who did it behind the BSC. So yeah, beautiful drive by Oliver Behrman. Interesting to see the difference between the two racing bulls. Liam Lawson ran the one-stop soft to medium strategy that Pirelli said was the fastest way to win the Brazilian Grand Prix. I don't think McLaren did that because it's better for them to start on medium. They've got such a good car, Lando on the pole, etc. But from where Liam Lawson was, very good choice to do that. Interestingly, Isaac Hadjar ran a different strategy. He started on the soft, but then made 2 stops and ran 2 sets of mediums and got beaten by Liam Lawson. So, yeah, Pirelli were right about that certainly that one-stop strategy was the right way to win the race. But it was all thrown by the hard not coming into play for teams like McLaren, and that was the real spanner in the works in terms of changing things around at the last minute. Nico Hulkenberg was in the points again. He loves Brazil, goes so well there. He's in the points for Sauber Ferrari, and P10 Pierre Gasly, who drove so well last year and drove really well again this year to get a point for Alpine Renault. Finally, a point for that team. A very good job from Pierre. Now, the race as a whole will be remembered obviously for Lando's win, but it will be, I think it'll go down in history as one of the great drives by Max Verstappen. And the immortal words of GP, his race engineer, saying, "You are now the race leader on lap 51. Of course, this is when Lando came in for his second set of medium tyres. And that's what prompted in the closing stages Red Bull, when Max said those tyres are going off, to flip the coin and say, right, we'll put a set of softs on and we'll see what we can do. There's nothing to lose, as Max said, let's go for it. And the softs nearly made it through, but they went off about 2 laps from the end. He was unable to get Kimi, but he still got P3, an amazing performance. So there we are, an excellent Brazilian Grand Prix. The only thing it didn't have, as I say, was rain, and had it rained, who knows what would have happened. I'm sure it would have been an even better result for Max Verstappen, but it didn't. The weather gods were shining on Lando Norris's side today and yesterday as well, because the predictions had been for violent storms, violent rain, and it all held away. And Lando made perfect use of it all. A big thanks to Jetcraft, to OEM Exclusive, to Track Ninja, and to REC Watches. Don't forget to go to the description below this video where there's details not only of the next amazing DNA watch to be created by REC, which is the watch we spoke about yesterday, the Bullet watch, taking DNA from the actual Ford Mustang used by Steve McQueen in the Bullet movie, but also another one which you'll see on the REC website, which is the Datsun 240Z raced with prolific success by John Morton in 70-71 in the C production class in America. That sounds like a bit of a mouthful, and you may think, well, what's that all about? But this was the turning point for Japanese motorsport. Apart from what Honda were doing in Formula One, when Datsun started to win all these races in America with the gorgeous 240Z, that's what changed it all for the Japanese motor industry, in effect. So this is a watch that contains DNA from that actual car, a car run by Peter Brock. Not the Peter Brock that was so successful in Australia as a racing driver, but the Peter Brock who worked for Shelby American and designed himself the shape of the beautiful Shelby Daytona Coupe. That was a Peter Brock creation. He worked for Shelby when John Morton was also working for Shelby, and when Peter went off to start his own race team, his pick of the drivers was John Morton, and he was super quick, John, really nice guy, and made it all the way to IndyCar, very quick as a Le Mans driver as well. But 7071 was his nirvana in that 240Z. And the DNA watch around that also being created. Neither of them yet on sale. They're also at the production stage, but the details, as I say, in the description below this video. So thanks for watching. Amazing Brazilian Grand Prix. Bit of a break now before Vegas. I'll be back with more live streams and chats with Mark Slade and looking back at that stunning drive by Max Verstappen.
Why my event list is not working? And the viewers are not working either. It's like maybe I have to delete that entirely. Let's add a new one so to see if this will work. Oh, there it is. I had to reset, I guess. Yeah, it's good. So also let's get the views. Viewer count. Where shall I have it? Let's have it there. Should be nice. So yeah. So you're aware what I'm clicking and using shortcuts. Yeah, that would work.
taking his
It was a great race. I mean, it was well managed, well executed, good starts, pit stops, decent strategy. It was just, it's been a good weekend once again, you know. So very happy. I was just very happy. I think I was pushing. It was still not an easy race. I had to manage the tires a lot, the pace was great. Clearly, I think it wasn't the easiest race in terms of managing tires, and I think we're missing out a little bit to Max, for instance, who was very fast. But otherwise, just a perfect weekend in terms of every session, every quality, every race. Just what I need to do.
I had a bad restart, a bit too aggressive on power and got some wheel spin, and I lost momentum on the way to turn one. And yeah, then we were 3 wide. To be fair, on the braking, Oscar was not fully alongside, and you know, the thing is, I was a bit in a difficult position because I had Oscar on the inside and Charles on the outside. So I tried, you know, my best to give space to both. You know, then to be fair, I didn't really see the crash. I need to see. I just know Oscar locked up, and you know, just at the apex, I got hit.
It was a very good race, even with a puncture as well in the race. So I had a good first lap after the safety car. Really overtook some guys, but then yeah, somehow we picked up that puncture, maybe from some debris that flew off in front of me in the first lap. But then yeah, I think we had strong pace. We did the right calls as well with the strategy, and to be on the podium from the pit lane is something that I definitely didn't expect jumping into the car this morning. But at the same time, I was looking forward to it. I was excited. Yeah, I also want to say a big thank you to the team, because it's been tough, but we are all, you know, in this together, and we never give up. We take risks, yes, but I like that. You know, to always try and be better, because we don't want to settle for second.
I think it was a maximum, to be honest. I've struggled this whole weekend with a bit of pace. You know, Kimmy's done a great job this whole weekend, but you know, for me, I came away with P3 yesterday and P4 today. When I felt pretty off the pace, I was pretty pleased with that overall result.
Got a really good safety car restart and went to the inside. Yeah, you know, I put myself up the inside pretty comfortably, and yeah, I mean, there was obviously a bit of a lock-up, but I couldn't go any further left than I already was. So you know, I can't really just disappear. So yeah, then after that, I'm not sure we made the right calls either. So. Tough afternoon.
Very, very happy. I think we executed obviously a perfect race, and that was the best possible result we could have achieved. Of course, we had some fortune with some cars DNFing, but overall, I think we had a great race. Good strategy, good pace, some overtakes as well, which is never fun because that's always adding an element of risk. But no, it was a really nice one.
Very happy. It's been a great weekend. Very hard race, honestly. But yeah, we had to make something work after the first couple of stops. It's always tough when you're the second car, because obviously the first car gets priority, and I lost a couple of spots in the first stop, and then I would have lost more in the second one. So we went for the one stop, and it just worked.
Starting 5th and finishing 8th definitely is a bad result. Still good amount of points for the team, but yeah, we're sleeping on the first stint, really. Then after that, the race was good, but costly mistake.
A decent race. Lap 1 was suboptimal. Lost a couple of positions. That was obviously difficult then to recover, because it was stuck behind Alex for quite long in the first stint. But we pulled over, you know, successful one stop, really stretch out stint on the soft, some good fun battling with the RBs.
I think this is more or less a copy on the other side, so.
So yeah, it was good, but obviously in the championship fight, you know, lost some ground obviously to some competitors, which is not great, but you know, it is what it is.
Very happy. I mean, we didn't score a point on Sunday since Spa before the summer break, so it's been, you know, a long 3 months. And this weekend, you know, we just had a good car. We managed to score 1 point yesterday in the sprint and another point today, which was pretty difficult. So I'm pleased. It was a tough battle with Isaac. I managed to like dive twice into turn 1, and fortunately he was getting me back every time in the straight before turn 4. So spent quite a lot of time. I think I'm gonna have nightmares of that rear wing tonight, but I think overall, they were fighting for. I think they got a podium this year, right? Big up. So they've been pretty strong, and just to be in that mix showed we had a good car this weekend.
Because I think we made contact from our last lap. I think we should score points today. I need to review the strategy, but we put ourselves in a good position and we stayed out too long on the first stint, and then that compromised the rest of our race. So we missed a good chance for points.
Unfortunately, we got the puncture 1 lap after Max, and the race basically restarted when I came in. So I lost how much time, probably like a good 10 seconds. Anyway, we finished, at the contact of P8. We were there at the end with Pierre, with Liam, with Nico. It was looking like a good finish, but unfortunately not. Missed probably 2 laps really to make further progress. It's unfortunate because we had good pace, but I think the luck was just not on our side this weekend.
I think I just got squeezed by Luis on the outside, some cars on the inside. I had nowhere to go, and I compromised my race because I lost the front wing there, a big part of the front wing, and from there I was struggling with a lot of understeer in the car and a lot of front deck, which made me slower than what we could have been today. But and also a bit of a slow pit stop at the beginning, and you start adding the things up, and when you see we are a couple of seconds away from the points, you always wonder what it could have been.
We tried with a hard tire at the start. I was happy to risk a little bit. I knew that there was there was some risk on the strategy, but if we do the same as the others and we just follow each other, probably we finish behind them. So we tried something different. Didn't work, but at least we tried.
After the sprint, we just struggled a bit more in general with the balance, with the car, the sliding, was everything a little bit worse. And I think, just a long afternoon, we had a lot of day, very tricky to keep the tires alive. You see the same as the cars in front, and we stayed in a similar place, quite stuck behind the Astons. And
we lost a lot of time at the beginning. We got hit by Yuki, and we lost like 15 seconds, and then that was kind of the end of the race. We tried to come back, but we lost a lot of time now.
I didn't notice even that I had contact, so I don't know, it must be my far off or whatever, but sorry for him. Literally nothing works this weekend. Something works, something won't work at the same time, so one of the worst weekend. I don't know why, but just struggle with the grip overall. That's it.
After the hit, it felt like the rear suspension was broken. But they said that it seemed to be alright. But something like could be crossweight or something like that. So it was quite a. And then the loss of downforce. I think we were losing 30 or 40 points of downforce. So when you were going through the high speed, the thing was snapping, and I was giving everything to try and keep up with even the guys that were ahead of me.
I do agree we have a rule book, and I think you've got to, the stewards are always trying to do their best to look at the rule book and to try and understand who is the one to blame. In this case, I really think Kimi knew and was aware that Oscar was on the inside. Yes, he was not side by side, which is the way it's written in the rule book, but you cannot really do a corner like nobody is in the inside if someone is on the inside, no matter how far he is. And, so for me, it's a bit more of a 50-50 blame with Kimi and Oscar. I don't think Oscar deserved all the blame there, but
Tough weekend. Just very upset because it's in my first home race. You always expect to do a good job or at least race a little bit.
I think has been one of the toughest weekends of my whole career, because I see that my fans are here, my family and my team, you know, for them is also very important. And you know, one of the biggest accidents I had in my career as well, probably the biggest one. I think it's a combination of things, and then not doing a single lap in the race after having a good start, you know. Until that moment, I think I was up 2 positions already, was going for the 3rd move, and yeah, I just had a contact with Lance. I don't want to point fingers here or there, you know, I just think it's race incident. In the first lap, everything can happen. I think obviously I was in the outside, I didn't got any space from him, but also difficult from him to judge that I'm there, you know, so I just want to move on and go for the next race.
Going to be joined by number 3 in a moment, but our race winner and taking his 7th win of this 2025 campaign, Lando Norris. Lando, let's start with you. What a race, what a weekend. Just how satisfied are you feeling this Sunday evening?
Well, I've been pretty satisfied the whole weekend, honestly. So it's been, yeah, it's been a great day, a great weekend all in all. Yeah, that's challenging. It's not been completely straightforward. It's still been difficult out on track, but that makes it better. I think you know, just a well executed race, good start, good pit stops, good strategy. It's a decent pace. I wouldn't say the pace was quite as good as what I would have liked today. So a few things to look into, but otherwise, you know, every session that I needed to be on top, I was, and that's why I flew to Brazil. So yeah, very happy.
You say you've had a few difficulties this weekend. Given your level of dominance and the points you've got for the championship this weekend, can you just talk us through what they are?
I mean, I think everyone, yeah, we're drivers, so we're always going to complain of every, you know, something. You know? It's just car balance was difficult. I'm sure the others will say the same, but it's yeah, it's a realistic thing to use in terms of when I was a bit happier with the car balance last weekend. We won by 30 seconds. This weekend we only won by 10, and you know, Max was coming at us quite quickly. So yeah, just the pace was not on another level, and we set our standards high, I think, as a team, as rightly should. So to win by 10 seconds, I'm going to sound like an idiot saying it, and whatever, but yeah, we wanted a bit more, and I still had to fight the car a lot to win by those 10 seconds. So yeah, just a little bit trickier than I would have liked, but you know, I'm still very happy with how the weekend's gone, of course, and I'm very proud of the whole team and what they've been able to give me.
You look very happy on the medium tyre. Just how was the pace on the soft?
Yeah, not as good. Even the last stint was not quite as strong. I thought the first stint was very, very good. But that was also the time I was on the most, let's say, a relative tyre to everyone. I think my use set of mediums at the end was like 7-8 laps used, so not as nice as, say, a second set of new, but yeah, I think the pace on the medium all weekend has been very good. The pace on the softs, all right. Pace on the hards, don't really know because I never use them. So yeah, there's always little things, you know. I guess we're always looking as a team to see where we can do better, what can we improve on, especially when you're fighting for wins and for championships. You've got to look for everything. So that's what we're trying to do, and definitely have preferred feelings of the medium, but we'll see what we can do next time up.
Orlando, you're now leading the championship by 24 points. Does this weekend feel like a turning point for you?
No, it just feels like another weekend where I came here to try win, to get the most points I could, and did that. I did that also last weekend. So yeah, I think neither are turning points. They're just strong results, which is exactly what I need, exactly what I'm fighting for every single weekend and every day. So just very pleased, but it's still a long way to go, so no point getting too happy or excited just yet.
Let's throw it forward to the next race in Vegas. Will the expected cooler conditions there help or hinder McLaren?
Hinder, for sure. I think it was our worst race last year, so I'm not really looking forward to it. You know, we're trying to work quite hard on improving those things. You know, Mercedes are incredibly strong there last year, as well as Red Bull and Ferraris. I think we were at the bottom of these four, so we'll wait and see. I think we will see improve a lot of things this year, so I'm not going to be too negative about it. I think there's plenty to look forward to. We know Abu Dhabi and Qatar are ones we are looking forward to. Las Vegas just a little bit less because they've been probably some of our weakest races over the last 2 years. So let's wait and see.
All right, very well done to you. Thank you, Lando. Kimi, let's come to you. Your best result in Formula One. Very, very well done. How stressful were those closing laps?
Way too stressful. I mean, obviously, when Max did the last pit stop and Bono told me the gap, I was like, oh, well, I cannot say because they're gonna find me now, but I was like, I might be in trouble, you know, because he was just 9 seconds behind, and obviously he was on new soft, so he had, you know, I think this race he had a very strong pace, and he did an amazing job coming back, and just put me a lot under a lot of pressure at the end. I had to really push the tire to the limit, and it wasn't easy, but I think, you know, we did our best, and I'm really happy with that.
Well, a potential huge turning point in the race could have come on lap 6, the restart after the safety car. Can we get your take on what happened on the braking into turn 1?
Well, first of all, the restart, I accelerate a little bit on the wet patch, so I got wheel spin and lost momentum going into turn 1. But to be fair, I found myself in a very difficult position because I had one car on the outside and one car on the inside, and I tried to brake late, not too late, and the problem is I didn't see the car next to me anymore, and still, you know, I tried to do a decent line for the position I was, and I ended up getting hit, and I was lucky, to be fair, to come away like that, because obviously I hit quite hard Charles, and unfortunately I ended this race, but also my side, I was lucky to come away with not such a big damage. You know, I had a minor damage on the car. I think the steering wheel was not fully straight, but I mean, still I was very lucky to come away with it and to be able to continue my race.
Didn't seem to slow you down much. Look, after what has been your best weekend in Formula One, just how much confidence do you have in the car now?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've had a good run so far on the, you know, couple of strong races. This weekend was the weekend where we put things more together, which is, you know, is what I need to do, especially, you know, for the team. And so yeah, I've been enjoying a lot this weekend, and looking forward to the next ones.
Well, can we talk about Vegas? Lando says, you know, you should be quick there. The car was quick last year. Just how hopeful are you going to Las Vegas?
Well, you know, very hopeful. I mean, as a team, we said that we're gonna try to do everything that they did last year. You know, with the car, even though it's a different car compared to last year, many things have changed. So it doesn't mean that you know, if we were quick last year, we're gonna be quick this year. I think, you know, as a team, we'll try to put the car in the best spot as possible, and as a driver, I'll try to deliver the best performance as possible.
All right, good luck with that. Very well done today. And Max, 24 hours is a long time in Formula One. What an incredible race by you and the team. Just how much better was everything today than yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, miles better than our qualifying, that's for sure. Yeah, just a very strong race. I think we just had a much better pace. I mean, of course, today also I think it was a bit colder, which maybe helped us. The car just felt a bit more responsive. I think also, even with that puncture that I picked up on the hard, to then drop back to last and then come through the field again on the mediums, I think, we did the right strategy at the end, like that. And even on the soft, it seemed like it was okay. Just, when you start getting close, and I passed George, you already, you know, wear your tires a bit, and then when I was getting close to Kimi, the tires just start to overheat and you lose a lot of grip. And then of course the soft is a bit more difficult than a medium for that. But overall, it's super strong race. I mean, coming from the pit lane to the podium, 10-11 seconds off the lead, I think for us is a very, very strong result. And yeah, definitely didn't expect that, of course, waking up this morning.
Max, why was the car so much better today? How much of it was down to the new power unit? How much was it down to the aerodynamic changes you made overnight?
I think everything together, setup as well. Yeah, I just felt a bit happier, and then I think also the temperatures today a bit cooler. It just felt like everything was a bit more, working a bit better.
With the car as it was today, how much higher do you think you could have qualified yesterday?
I mean, definitely better than P16. That's for sure.
Before the puncture, you were up to 13th. What might have been without that?
Impossible to know. I mean, the hard tire, I don't know if it was going to be a really good tire, but I mean, I felt fine on the medium, I felt fine on the soft. When I was on the hard tire, yeah, initially maybe the medium had a bit more grip from what I could see around me, but at the same time, I mean, you're all in dirty air, you're just sliding around. So it's impossible to know, but for sure it's not ideal. I mean, to pit again, be in the medium back in the pack fully, and then have to go all the way through the field. I think that compromised a bit that first stint on the medium, because I mean, I had to pass quite a few cars, you're overheating tires constantly. So that it was a bit more of a difficult stint towards the end, I would say, the last like 8 laps, 10 laps. But still, yeah, a very strong race for us.
Can we just throw it forward? Are you confident of being competitive at all of the last 3 events?
No idea. I don't know. I mean, look at this weekend. So look at Mexico and then look at the races before it. So it's really impossible to know.
Okay. Max, thank you for that. Right, let's open this to the floor. Do we have any questions? Name and publication, please.
Tiziano, Brazil, Diário Rio Claro. Max, the Brazilian jersey brought you that, right? The Brazilian jersey.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And at the end of the podium, I saw you focus on Kimi, the driver you battled with today. And during the champagne celebration, I saw you like focus on him. That has been a trademark of yours this season, helping and celebrating the rookies. Speaking strictly about career management, especially the mental and the emotion side, tell us something that a future champion like Kimi could hear today from a multi-champion like you, please.
Keep believing in yourself. You know, in a rookie season, you go through quite an emotional roller coaster at times. Some weekends go better than others. Sometimes you have high hopes. Sometimes that doesn't work out like that. You make mistakes. You have good weekends. But at the end of the day, that's all part of the learning curve. You have to make mistakes also to become a better driver, even in Formula 1. And I think so far this year, I think for Kimi it's been a big learning curve. But at the same time, he's very fast, and I always saw that from every young category that he was racing in. And for him to have a weekend like he had here, it was just super strong, and he fully, of course, deserved to be on this podium here today. And it also gives you a good confidence boost. The team, of course, is also helping him a lot, to really exploit all the potential out of him. So he's in a very good place, and that's why it's also good to celebrate that.
Thank you, Max. Next.
Phil Duncan, PA. Question for Lando. Lando, yeah, congrats on the win. After the race, you spoke about your strong run of form and that being down to ignoring everyone that sort of talks rubbish about you. Can you elaborate a little bit on that? And I guess navigating the outside noise that comes with trying to win a world championship.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, nothing in particular, but yeah, there's always people out there that try and bring you down a little bit. I guess it's quite normal, I think. But yeah, also just when you're on a big stage, there's a lot of people that talk and try and say things, try and influence other people, have effects. Yeah, and I guess even for the cheers and the not cheers. Yeah, you still hear it. It's not the nicest thing, but yeah, I think it's something I've done well over the last few months. I care a lot about, let's say, people's perspective and how I'm portrayed and things in the media. And I probably cared too much. Even at the beginning of the year, I think I cared too much and probably was affecting me in not the best ways. And I just learned to deal with those things better. Not by not caring, because I still think, you know, I still always want to have a good impression, and I never want to, be rude or do those things, you know, but I'll always try and make my point and say what I believe in, because I think that's one of the things I've learned the most is just to be true to yourself and have confidence in yourself, believe in yourself, and speak your mind. So it's more just keeping my head down and concentrating on myself.
Thank you for that. Next. Fred, question to Max. The way the car has been rebuilt yesterday and this morning and the new setup, do you think it can help you for the last 3 races to be with a more competitive car earlier in the weekend? And question to Lando, do you fear that Max is still a threat despite the gap?
Yeah, very different tracks also coming up, so it's just very difficult to know, to be honest. I think we're still struggling a bit on tires, so it will depend a bit on the track layout, temperatures. So yeah, we can get it into a good window, but not always. But that's what we have to focus on. That's what we will focus on the coming races. And yeah, I mean, we're like 49 points behind now, so. But it's also, I mean, we didn't lose the championship here or whatever. We lost the championship from race 1 till Zandvoort. We had a lot of weekends where we simply were not quick enough. And then of course you have, a big gap. Then of course we had good moments where you get some points back, but not enough. And that's how the season goes.
Thanks, Max. Lando?
I mean, I'm sure he's going to be a threat in terms of races, and you never know the championship, so pointless trying to guess and trying to come up with these things. But with this, how quick he was today, you know, probably would have won if he started higher up. But you know, that's racing. I guess not everyone puts it together, and it's easy to make mistakes in the world that we live in. So again. We maximize this weekend for ourselves, and that's what we'll have to do. So he'll be a threat. He always is. He's always there. He's always fighting, and I'm sure he'll fight to the end. So I look forward to it.
Lando probably would have won. You don't think you had Max covered today?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Next, please.
Bernardo Bersti, Correio do Povo, Brasil. I want to ask one for Lando and one for Kimi. Lando is about the championship. Do you think it may be time to own more the favoritism and race as a leader of the championship so you can get your objectives, like have more place as a protagonist, and not just don't be like, oh, we're going to have problems in Las Vegas, it was difficult for us next year. And for Kimi, I just want to know, it's your first time in Interlagos. Most of the drivers find it a challenging and nice track to race on. There's the connection with Ayrton Senna, and just how was to face these challenges, and also as a tricky track with compromises, imbalance, etc.
Do you understand your question? Why do I need to think that?
As I saw, like during the first questions, you are the leader of the championship. You have almost 1 win of gap to the second place, and you are ascending track with compromises, imbalance, etc.
Do you understand your question? Why do I need to think that?
As I saw, like during the first questions, you are the leader of the championship. You have almost 1 win of gap to the second place, and you are saying you are not saying you are going to be the favorite in Las Vegas because you had problems. And I saw you do it at least another 2 times, like we are not the favorites.
Yeah.
And maybe do you think a change of mindset, and maybe you already have this change of mindset in the last races, because you have been racing in a more protagonist fashion, I think, from what I watch.
No. I can say what I want, I can think what I want. I tell you what I always am, is I always try and be as honest as I can be. If I don't think we're going to be quick, I don't think we're going to be quick. And I'm not saying I'm going to be 10th. I'm just saying I think it's going to be difficult to win. We were a long way off. Just go and look at the data from last year, look at the race trace. We were miles off. And there's been plenty of races where we've not been quick enough this year. So it's not like we've won every single race and you're expecting me to say those things. I'm just giving my opinion on, do I think it's going to be as easy? I won last weekend by 30 seconds. Like, very, very easy. I won today by pushing a lot more, only 10 seconds. And Max was probably the quickest out on track today. Do I think that at a track that we've never been good at, we were very good here 2 years ago, you know, we almost challenged Max for the win. We've never been good in Vegas, so why am I going to think, yeah, it's going to be fine, whatever. I'm giving my opinion. I'm giving my honest opinion on how I think we're going to be. We've never been good there, so I'm not the most confident about going into this race. Maybe I'll win. Then we'll see. But I'm not going to lie and say, yeah, I'm very confident, and I think it's going to be an easy weekend, because I don't think that's how it's going to be. So, no, and you're very right to have your own opinion on what you think I should say and what I should not say and whatever, but I'll do what I like.
My question was, the track. Yeah, I mean, the track is it's good fun. A lot of elevation change, not easy, especially with the banking, some corner as well has positive camber. So just need to really understand the line you have to take in order to maximize, you know, every corner. And I think it's been a really good fun driving around here, challenging, especially, you know, to be up to the pace with only one session. But I think on that side, you know, we did the best. You know, my side, I tried to learn as much as possible every session in order to improve to the next one. And yeah, it's been a lot of good fun, especially, you know, also the support here has been incredible, and it's been one of the most special weekend so far.
All right, thank you. We'll do one more.
Hi, Maria, Kremer Magazine Brazil. Max. Hey. Yeah. From the pits to the podium, congratulations. The thought of it seems completely madness, but you've actually done it. And something in me, personally, says that although it is madness, you believed before the race that you could do it. And could we get your thoughts if you really believed that you could do this? And what message today's race leave you?
Well, I mean, I jumped into the car. I was only just hoping that the car would be more competitive. But in the laps to the grid, it already felt better than the whole weekend, I would say. But then still, I mean, after the start, picking up that puncture, then being last again, I said, my God, like, it's really nothing is really going my way this weekend. But then, yeah, you just settle in. You just try to do the best you can, you know, pass the cars in front of you, try to run the optimum strategy, and it all worked out. So also, you know, with the team, we did the right thing. And then, yeah, at one point, of course, you're fighting for that podium. You see it with, of course, 10, 12 laps to go, whatever. And so, yeah, it's nice, but at the same time in the race, you know, you don't really, like, I'm not projecting something. I'm just focused in the moment, trying to hit every lap, you know, as consistent as I can. So yeah, I mean, besides that, of course, the message is that we found a much better feeling in the car again by changing a few bits, but at the same time, it was also quite a bit colder today, and that might also have an effect.
Upset. Yesterday you seemed upset after the qualifying number. I'm sorry, but that's true. Yeah. Did that push you at any level?
Not in terms of trying to go faster, but
more about like, just trying to understand what we were doing wrong and how we could do better for today. So yeah, you just start to analyze everything that you've done over the weekend as well, and what we have done the previous weekends, and we went into a direction that we thought, okay, that should be the way to go. And yeah, luckily that was the right thing to do. And then I woke up and I was like, well, let's just try to do the best we can today and try to enjoy it.
That's a wrap from the Brazilian Grand Prix. Lando Norris wins the Grand Prix. And Schlemmy also for late charge.
What the fuck? Someone mumbling. What would you know, dude?
Max Verstappen's F1 title hopes might be hanging by a thread, but he did something extraordinary in the Brazilian Grand Prix to stop them being obliterated entirely. Verstappen finished on the podium after starting from the pit lane in Interlagos and even led the race before making his final pit stop, a call that some people think denied Verstappen the chance to pull off a shock victory. Pit lane to podium races are incredibly rare in F1, and this was the first time a driver's managed it since...
Oh my, from 30 minutes to barely 20 seconds, awesome. Okay. learning while being alive, right? What was the saying? I've never encountered such issue right now as I'm... Okay. I think I know what it was. By an accident I actually turned on different font. Okay.
lads, I'll give you Blackbeard's honest opinion. You ask me, can this new captain promise you a life of prizes, plunder, and adventure? Aye. Amongst all the gentlemen of fortune sailing these West Indies, he ranks amongst the most clever. There was a time when I thought myself the deadliest scourge of these seas. But this man is a fearsome dog that feeds off trouble and turmoil. I seen him clear the deck of a Spanish galleon like it were nothing. Fighting like a devil, dressed as a man.
Hey Vivo, hi there mate. What's up?
And he's a canny one. Knows his way round every crag and crevice of these islands. So if it's fortune and adventure you seek,
Stress at work. Why?
only don't meddle in his private affairs. For there's more mystery to that man than even I dare ask.
Sad to hear that. I hope it's all for the better. Git is totally broken and nobody knows why. What's Git? Basically the place where you store your code, and which deploys it on live or test servers. Okay, now I got it. But at least if I was some time used to continue in the robot hand. Let's us check. Or should you not want to show maybe? But it looks nice, it looks very fine details. All very much polished. You can show it if you want, but why am I hearing myself like very much odd? Like twice? Okay, I have two microphones here played. My mistake. Now I think it's better. Now I think it's better, yes. Let me show your... Where is the stream? Where's the link? Yep. I like the welds that are connecting the details. Went on the thumb connection yesterday. It was 90% checking my hand, how the thumb can move, which bone, in which direction. I like the details on that and the dedication, well done. I have switched to mouse because 2 days, consecutive 2 days for 9 hours of streaming and working flat out, I got pain in my middle finger on the left side where I'm supporting the pen, so it's kind of dented, you know. Maybe I'm pressing too much, I don't know, but it hurts really. So decided to ease off a bit with that. And on the other hand, myself, I mean, I was flat out. 9 hours, barely stopped. Yeah. Now I wouldn't show you because you won't be able to see much, but and it's nothing scary. I mean, in any case, it will pass in a day or two. Now I want to mark all the details that I can, so I can make it easier for the blocks out of this huge piece. That's the engine. We'll see how it goes, by the way. I mean, how it goes. I'm already set out, I have set out, you know, as a goal to make it, so let's see how much of a progress we can make this week. Monday. It's Monday, I mean, so by Friday I hope I can have at least half of this engine, if not more. So that's like a base of that engine there. And this is a continuation from this section here. All of that is together. There is some kind of piece in here. It's like a puzzle that we have to reconfigure. Come on. I guess this is going up here, and then we have this other section. Yeah, much of this needs to be finished. This element there. Geez, we have a lot. We have a lot going in. Let's focus on this one. So let's turn on the scanned. Shoot. Like this. At this point I have no clue whether there should be something here or not. I'm just trying to fulfill the gaps. So I just hope it makes sense, you know. For some reason my microphone has been off the whole time. Just now I realized it. Anyway, there is no one on the chat, so I assume it's not much of a problem. Okay, I think for today that will be all. Let's just save this new version. And I think now the file will be much more, otherwise it's around 700 megabytes. Yeah, now it's just merely 300, which is still a lot, but considering we have a scan, it's not that, you know, it's not that big deal. Still, nothing here can be deleted like that. We won't need that. Like this on the sides. And we can further make it lesser. The diffuser we might be able to delete as well because it's gonna be different, but I still think I would leave it out for some other details that I would need. These bits and pieces here can be removed. Surely. Yeah, more or less. Let's see. That element as well. So we can start clearing out more or less. This in here, whole element is with cables. It's quite. The cables will be put quite randomly. I mean, I'll make it sure that we have the same numbers in there of welds or how they're called. Anyway, but just in case, I'll leave it out. I think it's okay for now. So. I think tomorrow I'll continue with these elements in here. So to finish out this whole block maybe, and then we can just copy it on the other side, and then start working towards the center of the engine with these details in here. Yep, that will be for tomorrow. Let's save it once again, and the stream will be ending here.